Sure.
because I was like bronze 2 and I was just on a 6 game loss streak or something.
That sucks.
Uh,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
then I just kept playing and I peaked silver 1.
Nice.
So
What changed? Was it just sheer hubris, just biting your teeth and just kind of going through it, or I mean, it's been a little bit of time, but what's kind of changed?
it I think I was like it was a fairly low sample size at the time.
Yeah.
It's also that was my I started in season 12 and
Overwatch.
that was probably like yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
Uh sorry, Overwatch 2. Like
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
like literally like a few months before
Yeah.
the coaching request.
Sure. 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 What got you into the game initially?
Uh, my friend started playing it because he heard about Rivals and he was like, I want to get good at hero shooters before Marvel Rival comes out.
That's crazy.
And
That's next level min maxing there. I respect it actually.
yeah, and I don't know. I think Overwatch is actually in a really good spot right now. If it wasn't for Marvel Rivals, like I don't know. It's a very fun game. And I think it's would
Yeah.
have been getting very popular right now.
Sure, sure. Okay, sounds good. So I'm going to kind of skim through this here. This is a little TLDR, new to Overwatch, struggling in DPS, would like to have some focus guidance on what to work on. So why DPS, and has that pivoted since you filled out the form?
Uh, that was another part. Like I was already silver, touching on gold in the other ranks,
Sure, sure.
and my DPS was bronze too. I
Got
was
it.
just like, there's something wrong here.
Okay, so the
Uh,
other roles were better. DPS was the one that was struggling. DPS has since then gone to silver 1.
yeah,
Um,
and now
yeah,
it's my focus role because when I'm playing Overwatch, I just want to play DPS, and then when I
sure,
want to like fill,
sure,
I'll
sure.
play Marvel Rivals.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. So primary DPS, when you want to fill, you're playing Marvel Rivals. Heroes are you playing on DPS?
Just Cassidy now.
Just Cassidy.
I dropped the Tracer.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Why just
Uh,
Cassidy? And what kind of helped you to settle on that?
I felt like uh, playing something that focused mostly on aim, like not entirely, but like uh, it was just would be better for me in the long run.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
Not because I don't know. I feel like on Tracer I was abusing her. Well, I mean, I was playing Tracer. I was using her movement abilities to win fights, and my aim was sloppy. But since
Yep.
focusing on Cassidy, my aim has improved.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, whatever skill set, if you have a lot more fun focusing on that skill expression, then it makes sense that you'd go for that. So, okay, 100%. Let's keep going here. So, goals are upward trajectory, greater than 50% win rate. Obviously, you've been probably approaching that. Now, that will plateau over time. I think the average silver player has, I want to say, a 49% win rate, 48% technically. And at some point, it does tend to plateau a little bit, right? Like, you'll have a greater than so and so win rate, but eventually, like if you look at like a grandmaster players, they've got like 55% win rate, right?
Right.
So they're not better than a coin flip because as you rank up, the competition levels up, and that's kind of what the matchmaker wants to do is to put you against equally
that
skilled
was
players.
just straight copium.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Flex Q player factor surprise for my like city. So I guess for me, I'm looking through some of these questions. Some of these answers are a little bit outdated, but one thing that stands out to me is you leaning into the more aim side of things by choice, right? Why do you feel that that's a more fun skill expression for you? Like, why is that your preference versus, like, let's say movement or any other aspect? Is it just more satisfying?
Clicking hits is pretty satisfying.
Yeah.
I I don't know. I also like the reload mechanic. Like Cassidy is just fun to me in general.
Yeah.
I still play Tracer if I'm in quick play or something, but
Sure.
I've always been a one trick in these sort of games.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
I played League and stuff before. I was a one trick
Yeah.
then too.
Yeah, just kind of mastering a kit, like locking in a simple thing and just really nailing it, I assume, or something along those lines.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Let's see here. I play a lot more. I play around an hour a day, not always ranked. Okay, so how has that changed? And you said you primarily DPS Marvel Rivals for casual. So what has your playtime like approach been looking like recently? Let's talk about that.
Uh, I was keeping up with that until about a month ago, and then I fell heavily off the train uh,
Sure.
into Marvel Rivals. But
Sure. Sure.
I've been playing Marvel Rivals that consistently, and
Sure.
it's not the same, but it's close enough that the a lot of the stuff applies to both.
Yeah, I guess so. Absolutely. I mean, getting more comfortable with hero shooters and knowing how you're using your kit is fine. What's your plan in like let's just say the short term with Overwatch? Like obviously there's a lot of new exciting stuff, so like
Yeah, I'm
ignoring
gonna
the
give.
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna give season 15 a serious try, and
Okay.
uh, I hope I like the perks.
Yeah.
I've played a
Yeah.
few games, and I like them so far.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. So
Uh,
we'll kind of measure our expectations with where you're going to go with DPS a little bit, kind of based off of that. Like you already have made a great deal of progress, which is awesome. But like, let's say if we're getting, let's say, an hour a day of Cassidy, that's pretty good. Let's kind of use that as our kind of our benchmark of with an hour of day of Cassidy, what can you expect over the next 2 or 3 months, depending on the quality of that practice, I guess, if that kind of makes sense. Um,
right. Is that a question or?
Well, it's kind of more of like, well, it's both. It's a statement. And it is a question. It's something to kind of think on, essentially.
Yeah.
So for you, it's like progression wise from like like a very static clipboard way of looking at it. You could probably get the platinum with an hour a day on paper, right? With one tricking. Some people can get higher, some people might struggle with that. But obviously, the most important thing is the quality of that practice, right? And playing ranked and going in with a good mentality. And so I guess that's where it kind of pivots into a question. For the short term, like let's literally say the next 3 weeks, what quality of play are you expecting from yourself? How consistent are you with going in with a good mentality, going in with goals? How much fun are you having? Do you ever feel frustrated and just don't want to play ranked or just want to play DPS or support or end up kind of quitting and just going to rivals? Like how much do you expect that to be the case? And you got to be honest with yourself here, obviously.
Yeah, at least from what I've seen, I probably get like 3 or 4 games in.
Sure.
Uh,
I'm sure. That's
like,
good. I mean, it's good,
yeah.
you know? Okay. Okay. Do you warm up ever at all or you just kind of jump in?
The queues are long enough. I just do deathmatch,
Okay. Has that
and
been working for you?
but I know about the other stuff.
Okay. Okay. Something I learned from a Valorant coach is to play in blocks. So like 4 games, take an extended break, come back like another 4 when you're feeling refreshed. May not be as applicable for you with the way that you're approaching the playing, but it's good to know that, of
Yeah,
course.
now that I'm playing less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. I've been playing comp games since 2012 when League came out, but I've never hit Diamond in anything because I always lose my drive and switch focuses. I would like to hit Diamond and feel like I am a decent player. Do you still feel like that would be a goal for you? Or is it just more of a let's wait and see?
I mean, that's something I wish, but I think that's more likely to happen in Marvel Rivals
Sure. Sure.
because, but that's just player based thing. Like
Yeah, it's easier to
I'm
hit Diamond.
already plat, so
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a very good chance that you hit Diamond in Marvel Rivals. It's a lot easier. But at the same time,
Yeah.
here's what I'll say. Like, this is where maybe I can kind of be hopefully a little bit of an encouragement. You talked about like you never hit Diamond because you always lose. You switch focuses. You lose your drive and you switch focuses. I don't think that's a bad thing. You know, maybe you've kind of the same conclusion, but I guess it depends on why you lose drive. For some people, it would be like, I don't enjoy the game as much anymore, or I get bored, or I want to learn something new. If that's you, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think the problem comes when you lose focus or you don't have as much fun through tilt, right? Or getting in your own way, or bad training habits, or just wasting your time and not doing anything, period. If you're making the choice based in pursuing fun, then I think we're good. If you're not,
yeah.
then I don't think we're
I
good.
think
And
what
I
it
think,
is I enjoy learning a new game, and
right, right, right. How
so
many
I
competitive games have you hit plat with or gold with even?
uh a lot.
Right, right. Like a lot more than me. I can tell you that much, right? You're better at me than probably everything that you played outside of Marvel Rivals and Overwatch. So, good for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, good for you. So, as long as it's done out of a passion, then that's fine. So, I think setting a goal for like maybe this will be the game that I hit Diamond with, maybe it'll be Marvel Rivals. That's fine. Your choice. But I would never feel bad about that. I'd never feel badly about that. Um, feel like I'm lacking a bit of game knowledge or game habits. I learned very quickly, and I have absorbed a lot, but I still catch myself shooting Genji Deflect, for instance, and literally killing myself. Yeah, I mean that's just gonna come with playtime. I wouldn't worry as much about that. Is there any like general broader game understanding? I guess since you filled out the form, that maybe has suffered or struggled, or maybe you could be improved upon. Again, broad question
Broad.
here.
Yeah, I don't think there's any massive concepts. I was thinking about like what I want out of this coaching,
Yeah,
and like I've watched a significant amount of your coaching videos, and it pretty much all boils down to you take whatever you are trying to focus on, uh, and then you just go into a game, and that's all you think about, and
sure,
that's what you focus on.
sure.
Um, like positioning, being like, okay, is this a good spot?
Uh-huh.
But my question is more, how do I figure out what I need to work on?
Right,
Uh,
right, right.
like
That's it.
I know positioning. I was just watching my VOD and I'm on the floor way too much.
Sure.
Um, so that's one thing. But
It's funny. There's two different people that I work with, right? There's two types. Like, there's some people that kind of go in and they watch all my videos, but they don't like watch it. Maybe not enough of the coaching sessions, so they're all like angle pilled and they understand all the macro theory. They watch all the pro analysis and cooldowns and cycling and tempo and clock positioning and crosshair and trigger discipline. But then they don't know how to practice it. They just like do all of it and they just suck at everything, right? And then you're kind of still like in a different position where maybe it's your unfamiliarity with Overwatch, or maybe it's just you've seen the sessions, right? You know how you should be practicing these things. You just don't know what to practice, right? So
right.
that's something that we can put emphasis on, and we'll give you some simple goals with that. But I think what will be interesting is that I obviously will be doing some teaching today, but I would also love to see to kind of pick your brain once we get into the replay code about like, what do you think about this, or what do you think about this? Like, what does your gut say? Because I think, especially as somebody that's maybe been a bit of a combat veteran, right? You might have you'd be surprised at the other things that kind of translate over. And the good news for you, especially, is if Rivals really locks in for you, basically everything that we talk about with Overwatch applies to Rivals to some extent or another. So just kind of keeping that in mind. Okay. I think my mental is good. I rarely tilt Q. I get frustrated when I'm losing, but everyone does. I don't take it out on my teammates. Lovely. I have been working on my positioning. Takes high ground for Tracer. Your clock analogy helps a lot.
I forgot I put that on there. That's funny.
Yeah. Clock analogy applies for Cassidy too, which is always nice. I have recognized that Junkrat is the bane of my existence. There may be something about my positioning that I don't understand just yet. Okay, it's fine. You got a freaking spreadsheet for your ranked games. That's crazy. It looks better than anything that I've ever done. Basically, when I look at spreadsheets, if it's fun, knock yourself out.
Yeah,
If it's a chore, skip it.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not helpful. It's just fun.
Yeah, exactly. I've worked with a few players. The only time a spreadsheet has ever been helpful with a session of mine was one student who was so obsessive about it that he actually tracked that he was really bad at a couple of maps because he played them like 20 times.
That's
right?
why I did this.
Yeah, right. So there's some use there, but obviously it's about if it's fun, knock yourself out. Sleep is a little bit on the lower end, I will say. So just kind of keeping that in mind. You've probably heard me talk about that with a few of my sessions too. But 6 hours of sleep isn't great if you're like playing for optimal performance. You're probably aware of that. You're probably a pretty busy guy, but just good something to keep in the back of your mind, not just for reaction speed, but also for just learning capability, mentality, that kind of thing. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here. Do you have any other questions, I guess, before we get in?
Nothing that I had prepared.
Okay, well, we can take a look here. Now, obviously, codes were wiped, but I'm curious, do you have anything?
I do have a code.
All right, lovely. We could talk perks, too, once we get the code pulled up, because I think we can kind of brainstorm what perks you've tried, what perks you like, maybe some basic guidelines about what you should be doing.
Whoops. I accidentally opened it up.
Nah, that's okay.
All right. It's a nice long double Overwatch. Well, I mean, not double Overwatch, but
Yeah, I know what you mean.
all the way to 3 points over
Yeah.
overtime.
Yeah. Okay, let's. Now I've
And
had
you
some
also
issues.
get to
No, go ahead.
go ahead. I was just gonna
Um,
say you get to see Junkrat be the Dynamite existence here
I'm
too.
excited. I'm excited. Okay, let's go back here. I've had some issues with the replay viewer post wipe. Submitted the bug report, but if we crash, just a fair warning, for whatever reason, this particular patch and only this patch crashes occasionally. So we have
Yeah,
to move very
the
carefully.
client requested disconnect or whatever.
That's the one. Yep, you got it.
Yeah, I
Okay,
had that on my other replay code, but not this one.
that's super weird. Okay, Cassidy here. Let's talk perks. Quick draw. Fan the hammer shots are individually controlled and can crit for 50% more damage. Have you tried that one at all?
That's the one I do. Yeah.
What have you found in terms of its situational use? When does it feel good? When does it feel bad?
I'm
You're still learning, I'm sure, but like, what? Any initial observations here?
I mean, it's better for long range, but for when you're trying to do like the short range quick burst combo,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
right click, shift right click, that's obviously where it fails.
Yep. Exactly. Okay. And then in terms of the high noon refund, what are your observations off of that? I don't know if you've played that much, but what are your observations off of that?
I just don't. I don't see the benefit of it.
Sure.
Like, I mean, you could pop it and then is it 30% refund or
Yeah, 30% refund.
That just feels really low.
It-
Because the only
it
situation I
is.
could see is you pop it and then they look at you and then you cancel it, but then you're just out of 70% of your ultimate.
True. The way that I find it more often used is it's kind of embracing the limitations of what High Noon can be, which is really a zoning ultimate in many situations. I mean, you know how it goes, right? You pop High Noon, everyone runs and hides. So you just sit there and you hold it, and you hold it, and you hold it, and you hold it, and it expires and you get 30% back. That's kind of what we're looking at, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's situational, but if you ever want to, like, the zoning value of the ultimate isn't sexy, but it is very good. Like, let's say the fight starts here at any point and you just press Q and everybody runs and splits, your team's going to get kills, space, or high ground or positions or angles or whatever off of that. And they can't really do anything about it, right? And then if you get that value out of that, and then to just be like, oh, well, I'm going to just get more of my ult back, like that's a pretty big deal. So just keep that in mind. I don't know that it's better than the other fan, but if you find out that the fan, the hammer one is actually not all that useful, then the other one's just free real estate.
Yeah.
Moving on from here, these are obviously the more interesting one. Gunsling and critical hits with primary fire reduce the cooldown of combat roll by 3 seconds. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's the only one I've ever.
Yeah,
I don't even remember what the second one is.
The other one is the flashbang one.
Oh,
Cassidy throws
flashbang,
the second
flashbangs.
one, but deals 30% reduced damage. So it's kind of interesting because the big value of Hinder is not the damage, but the actual Hinder effect, right? Shocker. So if you ever are playing versus like heavy dive tank, maybe a tracer, that one I would encourage you to experiment with, see how it feels.
I could see it be good against tracer.
Yeah, like you could be obnoxious versus those characters, but obviously the roll one is like really freaking good. But I would say just experiment, just have a couple of games where you see it, just like see how it goes. There's no downside. So okay. Okay, that's pretty much it for guidelines. The other one is going to be the roll is going to be significantly better if there's nothing to hinder, like just objectively better. And then obviously maybe experiment with the high noon one a little bit more. But yeah, okay. Any questions about the perks before we jump in?
No question.
Okay, let's take a look here. So, was this just good long game, therefore good to review?
It was also one of the 2 games I played today.
Okay, perfect. Works for me. Also Junkrat, so like you said, so perfect.
Yeah.
It feels a little quiet for me. Let me turn it up just a tad. How's it looking on your end? Look okay?
Yeah, it looks fun.
Okay.
Doing a little bit right click Randy, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I respect it, but as you've kind of realized there, the actual damage that you do, if you don't hit basically 3 out of your 6 bullets, is pretty crappy because you're not only reloading, but also you can't technically headshot until the perk kicks in. So just kind of keep that in mind. I would basically, if I'm not landing 3 or more of my shots, I'm shooting.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
fanning.
That's probably. I mean, it's not the only right click I'm gonna do, but
Yeah.
it's because one of the things I'm thinking about is using my right click more because
Sure.
I am actually failing the wrong direction. Like my hero stats, like the hammer kills is just very low.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Uh,
It's a bait. It's a bait. It's one of the things that you. It's one of the least used aspects of any character's kit in the entire game.
yeah,
If that makes you feel any better.
it's only that like 5 foot window when
Right.
you're doing the right click shift
Right.
combo thing.
Right. Like this. Honestly, ironically, here we just talked about like don't fan the hammer. This is when you fan the hammer. Like this is one of those very rare circumstances.
Oh yeah, the
When
wall.
you see
Yeah.
shield, bubble, big body. But I'm going to be honest with you, fan the hammer stats, like you might, a high level player might get 1 per game. Maybe.
Okay.
So don't worry as much about it. Think about, do I need a lot of damage on a big hulking target, whether that's a shield or a tank, then use it. Otherwise, don't. It's kind of a relic. Like the game has been around for a long time. Fan the Hammer was like more to Cassidy back in like 2016. Not so much anymore. I like the cover here. I like the angle. Just out of curiosity, we'll touch this and move on. What's your effective DPI? So like, do you know what your mouse's DPI is? Do you know what your in-game sensitivity is?
I forget the numbers, but my mouse pad is a full 360, and then half the mouse pad is a 180.
Okay, and how big is your mouse pad in inches approximately?
24. Like it's
yeah. Okay, so probably fine. Probably fine. Okay, just
yeah, it's
probably not an issue.
I based it off of one of your videos.
Yeah. Okay.
Or at least like found in the right zone.
Yeah, I got you. I kind of like what you did here. Like you realize that I'm just whiffing my brains out. And you can kind of realize, like, what am I doing? So you kind of slow it down for just a brief second. You're like, all right, I got to hit this next shot. That's good. It's a good habit to get into. Like, don't need to use your max fire rate. The only thing that matters is hitting your shots, whether they're slow or whether they're fast. Okay. Some of the angles we're using, some of the cover that we're using, kind of experimenting more with Fan the Hammer. It's been okay. If questions come up, just let me know, all right?
Okay.
Little angle here. I like that. Shoot bubble. Your Junkrat fails his tire. I like this angle here. This is really nice. Now, one thing I'm noticing a little bit here. This happened very early back on first point under that bridge. And I'm seeing it again here. I can smell that there's some responsibility of I got to kill this Winston. And what this means in the first point is I almost got you killed. And then even got you killed almost here again. And now you have what's like a pretty decent angle right now. Not the best sightline, but if these guys do walk forward, you can shoot them. You can rotate to here. You can even rotate to here. But look at how your little red circle moves back once you hear Winston. You see it?
Oh, I don't think I knew he was there.
Yeah.
I think I still thought he was over
Okay.
where the bath is.
Got it. Okay. All right.
I was just moving over to hit
I
this
see.
flank.
Yeah, I got you. Good.
That was a misclick.
Yeah, I figured. I don't care.
Either that or I was playing too much Bucky. And I was trying to use
yeah. It's just BM. I don't even need this cooldown to beat you. I mean, this is good, right? Look at your tank's pressure. Look at the angle that you got. Look at the range that you're playing. Look at the cover that you're utilizing. Now, obviously, you wish you had your Hender here, but regardless of that, like this is good. The only thing that I would say in terms of problems are more micro-oriented, all right? And this is where things can get really fun, okay? So look at where your crosshair is, and look at where her head is.
Yeah.
So I like to call myself the greatest Cassidy aimer that can't aim, because I'm actually sometimes decent with Cassidy aim compared to other characters, because I almost always turn corners at head height. I don't actually have to aim. I just turn the corner with crosshair at head height. This needs to be you too. This is a way, way, way too low for the corner that you're peeking up. In addition to that, one other detail that we can pull out here, and this is something that high-level players are really, really good at, which is ironic, which is making your shots easy. So you might have seen me talk about this before. What should you be doing with your strafe right now?
Yeah, like strafing to the left with her.
Sure. Or, you ready for this one?
All right.
Nothing.
Oh,
Nothing. Like I appreciate
yeah.
where you're going with this though. You mirror her strafe. That's fine. That's more advanced, but you don't even need to worry about that. Just stand still. Now, how long you stand still is going to be a very important call. I would say 1 shot, 2 shots. Right. As soon as that Ana sees me, I'm going to need to start strafing. But you notice that now is when you actually have to start strafing. But the opportunity to kill the Symmetra is kind of already gone.
Right.
You see, so you've made your shots unnecessarily hard. And again, I say, ironically, pro players are really good at this because you think, oh, pro players they're really good at aiming. So no. Pro players are really good at aiming, yes, but they know how to make their shots as easy as they possibly can. And you'll see high-level Cassidy players do this all the time. That's why they hit so many shots.
Let go of the AD because they're not looking at me.
Exactly. They're really good at moving when they need to, but when they don't have to, they stand still. That being said, I really like the angle itself. Like, I want you to watch this from like a macro perspective, even though you clunked all your shots. Look at the enemy's backline, rotate accordingly. So they're here. Cassie's really nervous about you. Ana's also really nervous about you. You've already scared them. You scare them again, they run back even further. That just isolates Symmetra. Cassie does not walk forward. Ana does not walk forward. Symmetra gets isolated, Asymmetra gets killed. So even though you whiffed every shot, the strategy with which you approached that angle was good enough to kill the Symmetra. Nice shot.
Thanks.
That was good. Even this is nice.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
I wouldn't be bullied off of it. I know you might need to grab the mini or whatever, but you actually got supported by your Kiriko, and you could just go right back again. Loving Kitsune. Okay. Now you got to start thinking, where's the next spot, right? Because you kind of get caught like in the open here. And to be fair to you, there isn't really a good angle here. So you just choose what feels like at least any bit of cover. Give me 2 choices. Any choice that you like.
Over to where spawn is.
Like over back, left, forward, right?
Like our spawn too. I mean, like the.
So like here. Or here.
Sorry, I meant like where we would spawn once we take this point.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So back this direction.
Yeah, either back there or like in that little warehouse thing.
Yep, you nailed it. I think that's probably your best choice, actually, to be honest with you. One
Yeah,
of those choices.
in overtime, I die right there when I'm taking cover. But that's not results based or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, big thing here is that you just need to kind of make a choice with where you needed to go instead of kind of floating in the open. It's okay to make. I mean, you've probably heard me talk about this in my session. It's okay to make a bad decision with your positioning because at least you get some sort of feedback. Like if you fall back here and you're like, bro, I can't see anything. This is pointless. If you rotate here. And then you're like, okay, maybe, and I forget about they can flank me here. Like, okay, maybe that was too aggressive. That's fine. But give yourself some feedback here. You don't give yourself any feedback outside of make a choice, jackass. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But I think that's the problem here. Now, I want to point out one positive thing. And this sounds so stupid, but I think this is something to highlight. That's technically when you could use Fan the Hammer.
Yeah, on the shield.
It's on the shield, right? On the shield. Now, Vermonter's shield is pretty hard to break. But yeah, I mean, you kind of recognize it there. Oh, dear. Okay, that's okay.
Oh, there it goes.
I think, okay, the good news is I think it only happens when I skip forward. So I think if I don't skip forward too fast, I think we should be okay.
That might be what was happening, actually.
Yeah.
So I think I just fast forward in the second one. I didn't hit.
Yeah. I'm not
there.
sure if that's the case, but we'll find out, so. There's an audio bug where if I'm playing at a faster speed and skip forward, it goes burn, like it buzzes really loud. I don't know if it's correlated with that or not, but it's really annoying. Okay, you might need to click on my profile picture at the top.
Yeah, I need to click back in.
Click over, yeah.
Ready for battle.
Okay.
Ready for battle.
You're supposed to stop.
Okay. Okay, we're going to be nice and smooth here. We're going to baby the crap out of this and just pat it nicely on the head and just, everything is okay, buddy. Don't break on us. Good angle, good shots, and I also really like how I could see you consciously slowing down your shots at moments, right? Like I know, like you have a microwave beam on you. It's scary as all get out, right? But you were like, relax. If I hit my shots, I win. And there you go. Nice job. You back end, you can see?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. No fan the hammer that. That's too far. Also, could we just admire Symmetra right now?
I think that was with the perk now.
You actually you might be right. Okay. In that case, still slow it down because you still have to hit headshots with the fan.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it was just some random shots.
All right. Good. Like the angle. I like the element of surprise. I think the only reason why this may not work, sleep dart, right? That's the big one. But I don't know if there's enough pressure on the enemy team right now.
It works because it's silver, but you are correct. I didn't even think about sleep dart.
Right. So I think like the problem here is if we kind of blackboard it, I don't know if there's enough distractions on you. The way I coached the Cassidy not too long ago, and I said always high noon second. As in, let somebody on your team do something, and then do high noon. That's like a good way of thinking about it. Just so there's a little bit, because even with sleep dart, like you could still, like, she'll scare it. She'll drop the sleep dart, or she'll waste it, or she'll use it somewhere else. So, I mean, to give you credit though, the thing that you did really well was you had a nice little angle for it. So I actually think right now your angles, same thing with the fan there, but your angles are probably your strongest point so far. Strongest is probably your strongest point here. Okay, let's keep going. All right, don't break at me. Don't break at me. Everything is calm. Deep breaths. Okay, we're good. Okay. Any questions so far? Obviously, kind of a role in the attack. They're gonna push you guys on defense. Any questions so far?
No questions.
Okay. Want to see better habits with your crosshair placement. A little bit better habits with your movement. Being a bit more decisive when you don't know where to hold. Those are the things we're kind of looking at here. Is this fine? Good angle here. Like this. This is very good. Good. Lost a little bit of vision on the flank. Now, where can you rotate here?
I should have probably gone up the stairs.
Yeah, I think you could go back up the stairs. So this is kind of like a side note here, but this is honestly really quite good for you to hold. And there's even worlds where if your team drops, you could kind of still play up here as long as your supports can see you. More of a micro detail, but I don't hate this here, to be fair. Like this is okay. You have your role.
This
you have
is bad against Junkrat, I think. Right?
Yes, but it's still winnable for you. Like, you're still really dangerous. Like, if I'm Junkrat, the one hero I don't want to run into here is Cassidy. I think Junkrat is better than you here, but it's not by a lot. Like, I think Junkrat's better versus literally every character except you in this room. Because headshot, hinder, like, roll. I mean, if you roll his mine, it's a big damage reduction. It's a skill check. I mean, I wouldn't go after it here, but I don't think it's always a bad play. Good fan, right? You hit like 4 on him. Not a good fan.
Yeah.
That's a good fan. And another good fan. All right. we're nailing it here. Let's go. Another good fan.
There's a lot of fans here.
Another good fan. Another good fan. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. You can kind of see it there. It feels like, man, why did he took forever to die? Technically, if you hit headshots, I still think it's faster to kill. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'm telling you, fan is not good. You know, you were doing it when you were to use fan, but what I would say is keep experimenting with and without fan, even versus tanks. See when it feels good, see when it doesn't feel good. I think it feels better versus barriers because you just can't headshot a barrier, so you might as well fan it, right? But yeah,
right,
okay.
makes sense.
Honestly, though, not bad. Not bad. If you were going to use fan, that would be the situation that you'd use it. Okay, we're going to pause. We're going to skip very carefully. Okay, we're going to skip very carefully. We're going to skip very carefully. All right, we're good. Good?
Thank you.
Same thing with the positioning here, right?
Yeah, a little bit low. Or
It's not so much the low ground, so much as that, like, if you draw like the arrow effect, right? Like, where's the pressure
I was
from your
thinking
team coming
crosshair
from?
position.
Well, that one too, right? Actually, just a little bit low. Good catch. Like, you and I are both on different wavelengths, but still the right wavelength, right? Because, yeah, it's definitely too low. But also from an angle perspective, right? All the threats are coming from here, right? Is this good? right? I don't know. Something to consider. This is a very awkward point to play, but it's something to consider.
Yeah.
Let the kitsune guide you.
I think on the overtime, I start in a better spot. Oh, right. I missed all those shots.
Yeah, it happens. Can't worry about it. You slowed it down.
Yeah.
I'm actually impressed between this and the Symmetra kill earlier with how occasionally under a lot of pressure, you seem to remain relatively calm. I can actually feel that you're not spamming shots. That's really, really good. It's really, really good. That's a good practice habit to get in, to kind of lock in, because that's going to carry you. I know it feels bad. You're like, but like forcing it. Like even there, you felt like relatively relaxed.
Yeah. Yeah. I should have gone.
Bad because you're the first thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Also, if I was to do it again, I would have gone through the stairs.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Like, but yeah, in hindsight, you're like, oh, well, I could have just gone up through here and then done it from here.
Yeah, I had like 5 more seconds, and my team could have been there.
Yeah, you recognize it. It happens. You're under a lot of pressure. You're
Yeah.
like, I gotta touch. So it's okay.
I also keep on like thinking the damage resistance means anything when it
Yeah.
really isn't.
Not when a damage boosted Junkrat's in your face. Yeah.
My duty is being done.
High risk, high reward. I'm a fan. Especially once you hear,
I
Winston
did not
jump
mean to
here.
drop here.
Yeah, dropping here. No bueno.
I fucking fell off. That was
This guy, you should still be fine. You kind of see what I was saying with Junkrat, right?
Yeah.
It's not. And by the way, you can toss Hinder without slowing down your shots. So if you're stuck in this duel here again, shoot Hinder, shoot. So like bam, 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 right here. Just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, animation cancel. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But nice shot. And also, nice shot because look at your crosshair. Let's look at your crosshair. So it was a little low, but you pull it up. You see that? I want you to be more consistent at keeping it up instead of having to pull it up.
Got it.
Where it hurts.
Good shots. Where's your angle here? It's kind of too late now. This fight's kind of lost, but like, let's say that we really evaluate it from, previously in the moment, where would you have gone?
Yeah, go to the left and up the stairs.
Yep.
Probably.
Yep. Quickly, and that's the thing with Cassidy is like making those calls quickly, like quickly reevaluate, quickly rotate. You don't have the craziest mobility, but as I think, like if you think back to the second point attack, remember we just kind of died standing in the open. That's kind of one of those moments where like you initially took that left angle, felt really, really good, nice job, well done. Fight evolves. You don't evaluate. You're stuck on the freaking floor. You freaking die. Sucks. And I think those are the ones that I want to see cleaned up more consistently. I think the habit would be, if you were asking, like, what's the one thing that I should be practicing, it would be constantly asking yourself, where's the next angle? Where's the next angle? And if there isn't a next angle, if where you are is good, then okay, that's fine. Now I'm going to dodge this here, and we're going to skip right over it. And we're going to go right here. You back in stream?
Yes.
Okay, surely we're cooked here. Oh, this Moira looks like she's I hope she's standing in your Junkrat's trap here, because that would be pretty funny. And she is. Like again, I'm the calm that you approach with these duels is really nice. Like I'm really impressed. That Symmetra does not die if you're not calm there. So well done. It's unlucky, but good shots. That's 2 ults. You're probably dead here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's fine. Like them blowing 2 ultimates like that right at the spawn is good.
Yeah, I think here we're just getting staggered, and I don't really know what to do about it because I'm not like.
Don't stagger yourself.
I don't want to just.
Nothing you can do.
Yeah. Would you consider where I am fine, or should I just be like in spot?
I think it's okay, but you got to be really quick if they start looking at you the wrong way.
Yeah, because that's what happens. I thought I was playing fine.
Yeah, and then you get caught, right. So this is kind of the unacceptable part. Like, it's fine that you were peeking, but you can't die there. Not when you have your roll. You need to be able to go back and spawn.
Yeah.
I prefer the angle on left with high noon, to be honest with you, at this point in time. You kind of have to gamble here, but yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Because this high noon has less of a chance of working. But if I pivot the script here, and I pop the noon here, I mean, you could see it.
Yeah, I'm much better. I think overall I've been better at angles on attack than defense.
Yep, I agree. I agree.
I think it's just mentality. Because defense isn't really that much different.
Yeah, defense, you can... Well, attack, rather, you have more times to respond with what the enemy team gives you, whereas defense, you kind of have to predict. So it could be a little bit harder in some ways, but yeah, obviously it's not like night and day or anything like that. Okay, let's keep going here. So mid-fight angles are kind of what I'm looking at, and or as things get a little bit stressful, your positioning tends to get a little bit worse. You kind of float, is what I would describe. Crosshair placement, big one. Movement on peaking angles has been not something that we've seen as much past that symmetric clip. And I actually think you've done a pretty good job slowing down your shots when you see opportunities. Again, do you have any questions so far?
No questions.
Okay, let's keep going. This initial starting position is good. Fine to fan that. Sure. Again, kind of on the angle on the left here. This is fine. There's a symmetric bomb behind you.
Yeah, I noticed it way too late.
That's okay. That's what kills like your entire team. But honestly, insane use of hinder, insane shots. I don't think this is winnable, but I mean, it's still relatively well done. Okay. It's an interesting moment there where you drop to get healing, but I would try to peek over the edge to spam I need healing and see what happens. Because it does suck to, again, drop there. I just feel like you're in an inferior angle again.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Got a little too saucy. Crosshair placement is still a little low. You see it. Every time you turn a corner, it's like you forget what head height is, and then you aim too low. Now, you know that she's further down, but this is even compensated for that. It's still like around her elbow. You see that? So I love the angle here. I have a lot of faith in your shots and your hinder, certainly to force fade or get her low. I just am frustrated that you're not consistently able to get a headshot off of this. It's a good combo. Shoot, hinder, shoot. It's good. Nice job. It's also a great angle, but that crosshair placement is offensive. And it's the same thing here. You see it?
Yeah.
Ankle shooter. And you always have to pull up. You always have to pull up, which just means that you never headshot in your first shot. This one was good. If we're going to talk details, this is as far as you swing. So if we pull it here, you going out even this far is...
Oh, I was basically doing the W shooting thing.
You're doing the W shooting thing, but you're doing the D shooting thing. Exactly, right? You're swinging, you're strafing further than you need to. And honestly, nobody's even shooting you. So what that means is that rolling to safety here is not as good as it could have been. Whether it's getting to the mini or getting behind the corner, maybe Moira heals you. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe you die anyway. But if you're closer to that corner, that's 2 more shots than the Winston. So if you do die, I'll take the 140 damage. You know what I'm saying? Like, now he's at 150 damage, 150 HP instead of 300 HP. So little detailed, but honestly, you played really well in terms of your angles this fight. And honestly, your cooldown usage as well. That's very good.
Round numbered. Stay sharp.
So I should be thinking about ultimate right now, but I'm not. I don't think I am, at least.
Well, it's the same thing. You should still be thinking angle, angle, angle. Where's my angle? Where's my angle?
Yeah,
What's the
so
major
the
difference in your angle with and without your ultimate? Let's see if you get this one right. This one's tricky.
I'm not sure. Harder flank.
Sure. That's one. But there's one that's more objective. That one's more subjective. Like you can harder flank with your ult. That's totally fine. So the objective one is
where the enemy's focused.
Yeah. The objective one is that your ultimate does not have range limitations. So you all of a sudden become a sniper, essentially, when you press your Q. So if you think back to third point attack, right? Remember the angle that you took in third point attack, right? That was just too far. That was honestly too far, but it wasn't because you had your ultimate and you killed 2.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? That one was really good. This situation here, you might look at like what would be the best angle to take. If I didn't have ultimate, maybe top right? But you could also park back here and do a crazy lurking high noon here if you'd like to. High noon up top would be good too. I see you trying to use your perk. You desperately need this. Like, I think you're getting lost in the sauce here. This is not where you want to be. This is not where you want to be. It's funny. It's like, as things get a little bit more pressured, your positioning gets way worse. You're going to get spammed by Junkrat. Your vision's going to be really bad.
Yeah, I'm thinking too much about the point.
Yeah, you're thinking too much about the point, and you're trying to make the perk work, and I respect it. That's a fat hinder well. And this is kind of where, like, technically on an angle, but you're just so compressed. Yeah.
Yeah, I also didn't, like, you see him bleep, but it's only, like, in the corners of the frame, and I just didn't know he was on top of me when I hit Q.
It's total chaos. And this is why positioning is so important, because if you think about, like, oh, I could have sniper nooned here, or heck, I could have flanked here early and been really sneaky and done something clever from here, or just the really honest, boring, go up here, shoot from here. This not only would have been more offensive, like, value, it just would have been more relaxing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's still risk with every action that you take, but at least you don't have 7 trillion pixels in your screen, right? You could actually see. You could see your threats. You could make decisions. If we compare that to, like Guantanamo here, like, what is this?
Yeah.
This feels so stressful. Like, yay, right? Like, this is unacceptable. Like, that just makes it, it's kind of like the aiming thing where you make decisions so much harder for yourself, right? When you do these things. Okay, let's see what we do here. Don't stagger, don't stagger. Find your vision here, find your angle. I know you're not as familiar with this map, but this is where, well, okay, I'm gonna make you think. Where should you go? You got a couple of options here.
I should be anywhere except the ground.
Right.
So top left would be my preferred, like
Do
on
you know how
that
to
side
get
of the
there?
bridge.
Do you know how to get there?
I know how to get there using the bridge, but I don't know if there's a way to get up there without using the bridge. Okay, yeah.
Yep, you got it. And there's also this wall, which gives you to here. Higher risk, higher reward. But yeah, you nailed it. So this is the problem. You're like point, but I was gonna say Riptire. Here it comes. You are so screwed.
Yeah.
Like you're
Somehow not me though.
Well, but it doesn't matter. The result's still the same. You're completely a waste of space. Like you're shooting Winston bubble, and that's like your entire contribution here. You're just another body cast onto cart. And I think the reason why is I'm gonna blame OT, right? I'm gonna blame OT. But obviously that kind of hurts. Okay. So I don't know. Is it partly ignorance? Absolutely. Was it also pressure on yourself in terms of why you're failing so hard with your setups here? You tell me.
Yeah, I think it's it's definitely the OT, like not trusting teammates
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
that part.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also I think if we went and looked at that same point on normal defense, I had the same issue where I just didn't go up on top at all.
True. So it is
On
it's
defense, but on attack, I'm almost exclusively up there.
Right. Again, I think what you said about like familiarity is definitely like, this is the way that I look at it. I think it's both. You know, is it your familiarity with the situation, or is it the map of it? It's both. It's really both. Like you need to improve your map understanding, but also the only way to improve your map understanding is to recognize that I should be taking an angle. I don't know what angle I should take, so let me see if I can find one. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the priority for you, man. So I think you recognized it. You were like, I need to go top left. I don't know if there's a way to. Yeah, you're exactly right. Find it, right? Because at moments, I think your angles when you do take them, are honestly carrying. Like you were deadlifting on first point attack. You played so well with how you set up and how you angled. It's really good. But then moments it kind of slips your mind, and then that's why they've capped 6 points. you know. So it's a bit rough. Okay. Any questions so far?
No questions.
All right, let's keep going here. I'm expecting an easy 12-minute time bank cap here. You see the crosshair placement? You can see the outline behind the screen. You see it? Yeah? Where should you rotate to with the information that you have?
Top of the high ground right here, maybe.
You can, especially once you see that Winston out. Go here. Kind of what you did on the first time you went through.
Yeah, that was first time.
Yeah. Open up your angle here. It's good, really good vision. Yeah, good stuff. I mean, you're kind of
Then I
thinking about
walked
this
through the
angle
store,
here,
it
but
hit
this
that
is
trap.
right. So this is so you're about to walk in here, right? Now this is technically an angle, but this is where like you don't want to choose that one if you have another option available.
Yeah.
That's okay. He's gonna walk into you, and you're gonna two-shot him. Here it comes.
Oh yeah.
Hey, yeah, I respect the attempt. All right. Okay, be very cautious here. All is well. Don't scare the replay viewer. And we're good. I love this rotation from you. So good. Good. Yeah, good stuff. Good. Honestly, go back. Get a little healing. Go right back again. You're popping off. No! Okay, go back. You get sustain. The element of... Okay, here's the funny thing, okay? The element of surprise helps, but it is not necessary. You understand? So this, when you first peaked this is when your highest value for your angle, and it worked. It's what killed the Symmetra, right? That's why she was so brave here, is because she's like, oh, I'm fine. Bam, bam, right? And she's dead. Okay, nice job. But if they know that you're there, sometimes them knowing that you're there is the fear factor, right? It's what keeps that Junkrat scared. It's what keeps that Moira scared, and then that means that the fight in main goes better for you. The other thing as well is that object permanence isn't really a thing for support players because the Mercy is just like standing here, and that's another free kill. So either they give you respect, you live, you keep applying pressure from the angle cautiously. They don't give you respect, you kill 6. That's your choice. But I don't want to be here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you did an excellent job recognizing it in the moment, but it feels like, again, another recolor of your mid-fight angle problem, where you'll recognize a good angle, you'll get value of the angle, and then as the fight evolves, you don't take an angle, or you kind of bail on the angle that was good. Okay, let's keep going here. Yep, it's funny because I had absolute confidence that right now you were going to take an angle, either this room or top. I have no doubt in my mind. My question is, what's it gonna be like in 15 seconds? That's where
Probably
I'm
gonna go and drop and be main.
Yeah, I knew it. Okay, it's okay. Like, we're gonna use this step to go left, right? I'm manifesting it right now. You're thinking about it. Now I wouldn't push left, but I would start to think about it, right?
These barrels are smoking.
Yeah. Hey, not bad. Like, think about it this way. Where does Junkrat with a damage boost want to be spamming right now? You see what I'm saying?
Man. Yeah.
Where is he spamming? He's zoning you. You're getting 2 resources for the sake of 1, and you're not going to die either. You're going to get a little healing and go do it again. This is good. Now, you could look at this and be like, oh, with hindsight, maybe I could have gone top. That's fine. But I think I like what you're doing. So get a little healing. And this is kind of where I'm glad we talked about the element of surprise, because go do it again. You understand what I'm saying? Go do it again.
Yeah. I waste time on the teleporter.
Yeah, it's okay if there's nothing else to shoot.
I don't know why.
It's okay. Is he dumb? He tried to get the Moira, I guarantee you. Okay. I heard the Riptire explode, nothing dies, so I'm like, okay. It's kind of weird to look at this way. Here's another way of looking at it. Even though you didn't get like good angle value, who's this Winston focusing and who's he not focusing? You see what I'm saying? Like, he uses his jump on you. And so he's focusing you down on the angle, and then he gets smoked by Sigma Rock. Now you want to see something else funny? Can you guess who the Sigma was aiming for? Check it out. The Winston just jumps in front of an X and... Okay. Yep. Ignore the ultimate. Ignore it.
Really?
I know it's... Ignore it. Yep. Ignore it. Because what is in the ultimate right now? You see it, right? Bastion. Where are they going to hide? Here. Where are you going to be? Here. You understand? There are situations where you might want to give up your angle to go inside of an ultimate, but that's actually the minority of situations. Basically, you want to not allow them to hide from the ultimate. That's the goal. I don't hate it. But I'm going to be honest with you. The last few seconds have been pretty much just you're winning because you're hitting some nice shots. Nice job there. So I'm not going to lie. You did a good job mechanically. But also not the best positional masterclass we've seen from you either.
Right. It was literally just main the whole
Yeah,
time.
literally just main. But you know what? You hit your shots, so okay. All right, next step. Where is it?
I should have gone right and had faith in my team. Instead, I sat on carrot like a payload princess.
Because you're even aware of it. You're like, there's somebody on the right, somebody on the right, somebody on the right. I mean, if you ever get stuck on card, I get it. But honestly, like, this is... Where's the angle here?
Yeah, over there.
You sit on the corner here. Bam, bam, bam. If you do this now, this Winston 100% dies. Because there will be zero follow-up. Zero. I mean, he might die anyway because he's kind of a moron. Nope, he lives. That's your fault. You got double support pocket. That's your fault. And meanwhile, how much damage did you do to him? 70? You know, it's not worth it. Take the angle. Have faith, not just in your team, but in your ability to provide value elsewhere. Inappropriate fan, inappropriate fan,
Yeah,
inappropriate fan.
I am testing the perk a little bit, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but if that's the perk, then you would still be aiming for the head, right? Like you're still going tap,
Yeah,
tap, tap,
yeah,
tap, tap,
yeah.
tap, right? So
Oh, you're right. I picked the wrong perk this time.
it happens. In the moment, you might have been intending to practice it and just actually goofed it up. That happens.
Yeah.
You're in the weeds, mate. This is over. Like, you're cooked. Like, you're getting cleaved by
Yeah.
Winston. You got a Symmetra on top of you. You're about to get killed by Riptire.
I do.
You don't,
yeah.
you don't even live long enough for the Riptire to kill you. You're in the weeds, right? You have perfect support LOS. You have perfect vision. You have a perfect angle. You have the information that this works for you. You can't even plead ignorance now because you've already shown me that you can pop off from this angle, and you chose not to do it. Now, again, root cause analysis, right? You kind of clarified that. I think it's just more of a concern about what my team could do. It's OT, there's more pressure. But honestly, that's when this kind of stuff becomes even more important because we need you to perform. We need you to pull pressure. If we don't, we lose. And you can kind of see it there. Main takeaways. Cassidy, what are some notes here from gameplay specifically? Micro, macro, etc.
For micro, stop moving. I mean, well, add to my repertoire of stop moving to aim when they're not looking at me. Crosshair placement on the head.
At you, crosshair, place crosshair on head, height, when peeking corners. So really kind of both of them are when peeking corners do this. When peeking corners do this, right?
Yeah.
The moving one, I think you were not terrible at. I think the real one was the crosshair placement. I actually saw a lot of situations when you actually stopped moving. I actually saw that was occasionally something that you did, which is really impressive. And you got a lot of kills off of that, so that was nice. But the crosshair placement was almost every single time a problem. Almost every single time. Okay, what else?
For setting up before fights, think about where's my angle.
Pre-fight angle
For
consideration.
ultimates.
And don't freak out about OT objective too much.
Yeah.
Right? With high noon, longer angles are okay. And finally, mid-fight, stay on your rotations. Don't get lazy and throw your corpse on cart. Right? I really, really felt like your positioning was, I mean, I literally said this, at times a strength, like really, really good. Like I would not have predicted that you were silver 1 with some of the angles that you were taking. It was really thoughtful. It was really, really well done. You should feel proud of yourself. But it's really funny how quickly it degenerated when you were put under a little bit of pressure or when you got distracted more mid-fight, where it really did go shooting right back to silver positioning. And I think it's good to highlight as well that like even when you took angles and when you didn't, when you didn't pop off, when you missed the shots in the symmetric because your crosshair was on the floor, or when you failed to strafe or bad crosshair, it still won the fight. Still won the fight. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
None that I can think of currently. I mean, that's a lot of stuff to work on.
Yeah. And I obviously, like, the routine, break it down into actionable things. Like, I really think the crosshair placement one, it would be really tempting to just kind of stop and think about your ultimate, or stop and think about your angles. And you could think about a little bit of that maybe pre-fight, but honestly, it's totally fine to just worry about crosshair placement for an entire match, right? Totally fine. Like, that's going to take up a lot of brain power because that's basically constantly in the back of your mind. Is my crosshair head, and so on.
I just wish the deathmatch games were on. Like in Valorant, the deathmatch games are on the comp maps.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But
It's
there's
annoying.
separate maps.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying. Okay, let me trying to think if there's anything else on my end here. Oh, rivals main. Well, who's your rivals main? Do you have a main?
Lucky or
Good choice.
Strange.
Good choices. Okay, here's the fun part. You ready for this one? So the Strange is a little bit different in terms of how you take your angles because it's a lot of frontline stuff, right? Bucky,
Yeah.
every single thing that we just talked about applies to Bucky, minus the ultimate.
Right.
Every single thing. Crosshair placement, corner peeking, not moving.
You never played Sniper Bucky?
Well, he's not as good. He's not as good post-patch. He was better pre-patch. Season 0, he was good, but they nerfed his range. But yeah. No, I mean, Sniper Bucky. I mean, even situationally, a Sniper Bucky, like if they're on like full dive and they're like running a Hulk Penny frontline, yeah, Sniper Bucky, right? But you still need to be on your angle. Like you still need to be like, come on, dive me, right? I mean, that's kind of what really Cassidy's all about. Is you take those angles and you're built for pressure. You've got the 25 extra HP. You've got the roll. You've got the hinder. It's like you're kind of building yourself to kind of be a bait. Like think about like the Winston dive earlier on that second point defense when you just kind of died, right? But you still got your one. You still forced all the CDs. And if your supports had not been dead, or your mercy, had not been dead, you easily live that, and Winston's dead too. Like Cassie's built for being like, come after me, guys. Come at me. And I think Bucky's the same way. So,